numbers yet. We're in.
One.
Hey, we're in.
Stephen.
David, you right?
You always say David first, usually, so I thought I'd get.
Oh, no, it's just normally you're fucking half asleep. That's why. No, they're not. They're nice. No. I had a shower this morning. It's all good.
You do realise that shit on the bottom of your foot needs to be cut off, don't you?
No, I don't. I normally use a pair of scissors.
It's absolutely disgusting, dude.
I normally use a pair of scissors just to scrape them off.
Oh, have you got a pair of Hobbit's feet there?
Oh, all right, they're nice.
Put them down, dude.
Oh, fuck
anyway,
me.
We've got.
You can make some money on those bad boys, can you?
Yeah, you fucking know it. Who's this fella?
We've got Mr. Boardman on a call with us today, or on a chat. He's called Alex Boardman. I've known him for about 32 years.
Wow.
33
long
years.
time.
He looks like he's just been dug up.
He looks young.
Fuck off, does he look young? He looks like, remember when Tom Hanks, when he was on that island on Castro for like 50 years?
Yeah.
You should have a ball.
A little bit like that. But also...
I can see it, yeah.
He looks like one of those fellas that are like, we have them round here, don't you? They're on a skateboard, they're like banging on fucking 55, but they're like they're still on a skateboard going to school.
Yeah, that's him.
Oh, well, that's what he looks like.
Yeah, exactly. That is
I like that.
You've seen him round here, falling off.
No, I've not seen him falling off. But
if I was on a skateboard, I wouldn't last long, that's for sure.
I never do that at school, skateboard. I'm like just thinking, I'm going to fall off and smash my elbow.
Oh, you would though, wouldn't you?
Yeah. I know. I'm too limmy.
Oof, I don't like that word.
Dave, you've got too much height about you, haven't you?
Exactly, but you're about the same height. I mean, you've got me 6'1".
Nah, no. I like to kind of say in the past, I was 6'0", but definitely not. I was punching that 5'11", maybe.
Oh, really? Oh, you're a shorty.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So this is quite interesting because I think Alex is like the first person that I've never pre-met or know anything about. All I know
No pre for you.
is that the geezer's a teacher.
And he looks like Tom Hanks from Cast.
That's all I know. I don't know.
Yeah, so obviously he's a teacher in a school somewhere in the vicinity.
And this episode we're going to call it Schooling. Although I don't think that's a very good episode, a very good name for an episode. No, don't start moaning now. Fucking, well, you said before we wasn't going to call it Schooling.
Come on, back me up here,
No,
mate.
it's or back
say school.
Back to school. Back to school.
Back to school, yeah.
Back to school.
So I swear.
Go on then.
No.
Oh.
I'm not going to.
Okay.
Or cry.
So this is what I kind of missed out. I was hoping that, I was going to be within that vicinity, that I was going to be in that lounge, on that sofa, just so I can see this engagement between
me and Pricey.
Yeah.
Right in between you, yeah.
I think we've got to be careful about calling me Pricey.
Why?
Well, because I'm going to start getting a fucking invoice from him soon. The fucking copyright. Jesus Christ.
Get a letter from his
Yeah, just written in crayon. Like, it's a fucking nightmare. Anyway, so you're a teacher. Tell us about your class. I mean, obviously not the kids in it, but what do you teach? Like what age group and stuff like that?
Secondary, and I'm trained in PE, and most of my sessions are in PE, but I've also kind of branched out and now teaching enterprise, which is like business.
I thought that was like Star Trek.
No.
Okay.
No, not quite. And yeah, kind of amongst a few other subjects, which we have to kind of fill the voids as such.
So,
well, don't tell me you teach like English and maths.
Yeah.
No way.
Can you imagine? Imagine?
Dude.
No way.
So you teach enterprise and PE.
That's it. Yeah.
What other subjects? There must be others that you're not letting on about.
Do something.
Well, the problem is, kind of Dave's thrown his memory back to when we were at school, and of course he's probably thinking about our English and maths lessons, thinking there's no way this guy could be teaching any of those subjects. But but you're right.
Yeah,
I don't teach those. No, but I'm a bit of RE, nice. a bit of science at the moment. Just one lesson of science, and also Spanish.
Ah, okay. We know a bit of Spanish, don't we?
Yeah, and I don't know any of it.
Yeah, no. So fucking hell. So And is that? I'm guessing that's just because the school maybe has not got enough staff or something like that.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, yeah.
What a fucking
So I mean,
nightmare.
it's I mean, I guess probably to kind of paint a clear picture on it is that yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, the school are kind of struggling for numbers for teaching certain subjects, and where we're kind of filling the void, we're doing it kind of strategically, so it's no GCSE subjects, things like Spanish, it's all done remotely. Well, I say remotely, it's all done online. So you're facilitating the learning of the students kind of during that one lesson. But they do have actual Spanish lessons with a Spanish teacher,
Is
aside
she
from
actually
the time they have
Spanish?
with me.
Is she actually
She's not, no.
Spanish? She's not. Oh,
No.
okay. All right. Okay. Well, I just.
But not many are these. I mean, unless you don't having a Spanish person come and teach Spanish in the school over here is, you don't often. I mean, you do get it, of course you do. But
Yeah.
since my time in education, I think that's probably happened once. We've had a lady who is Spanish kind of teaching the Spanish in the school. Other than that, it's people who know the language really well.
I used to have a French teacher and a Spanish teacher that were both like original, like OG French and Spanish. And no, there was a benefit to that. Apart from their breath used to always smell. Now, I'm not saying that all French and Spanish people's breath smell.
Have you got teacher's breath?
You have to ask the students though, wouldn't you? I mean, probably, there's probably no doubt, once you've kind of had that cup of tea that, it's kind of, you're virgin on it, but that's where you got to pop a chewing gum every now and then, yeah. Get some mints in there.
Yeah.
Maybe even brush your teeth every now and then,
Yeah, do you do that in the day? Do you take a little toothbrush to school?
I actually do, yeah.
Yeah, good
I mean, we've all
lad.
been,
Yeah,
haven't we? We've all been there with that teacher that has that unfortunate odor, and you've got to kind of try what you do to avoid it. So, if that means a little bit of a brushing and gnashes during the day,
yeah, definitely. So
it's the coffee.
So
it's the coffee drink, isn't it? They're the ones.
Yeah.
Have you got your own form?
I've got a tutor group, yeah.
All right, that's semantics.
And what do they call you?
Mr.
Boardman.
Yeah, sounds funny. But no, they call you something else, don't they? I can't remember what you told me a couple of months back.
Bear.
The Tom Hanks. Timo.
No, some of
So
them say Mr. B. Some say Mr. B, but
No, it's about
that's
your
about it. Yeah. Oh, Calfzilla.
Brilliant.
Zilla.
That's what they call me
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, for different reasons.
Fucking all right.
You had tiny calves at school, like tiny.
Oh, I guess it's those years of basketball, isn't it? Kind of hopping about,
He's good at
build up the
basketball.
calves and
This boy is.
Yeah.
what
You're bloody good at
was once
basketball,
upon a time.
So were you two in the same form, are you?
Yeah.
And did
7
you ever?
years.
Did you know he was going to be a teacher when he grew up? Is that what you used to always say?
I didn't know I was going to be a teacher when I was growing up.
So what did you want to be?
Do you know what?
Like a firefighter or something, by the looks of it.
No, not at all.
No?
I mean, it's a question that
Nah.
it's a question that students ask all the time, and even my daughters kind of say, "What do you want to be?" And I'm like, actually, I can't remember. Do you know what I mean? We probably all had that
Dream.
that desire to be an athlete of some sort. That
An
never
astronaut
obviously
or a
transpired.
vet or something like that.
Yours would definitely have been sport based if someone had asked me when you're young, because you're fucking good at sport. All sports.
I think so. I think I was kind of moving into kind of coaching, like some kind of sports coaching. That pretty much that obviously led into teaching and such. But when I had my careers, we do those tests when you're kind of at school. I mean, obviously it's much different now. I must say that because I used to run the careers program, and from my experience at school, I had to make sure it was done differently. But when we had those kind of psychometric tests when you're at school, and it kind of the numbers kind of go together and it throws out what you should be, I was told I was going to be a dustman. So,
oh shit!
Were you?
Yeah,
they get paid quite well though.
Yeah,
they do.
That's decent. Yeah, well, it's just a job, isn't it?
They're a little
Like every other
bit,
job.
little bit. I find they're a little bit above their station though, Dustman. That's the only thing that annoys me a little bit
I hope
about
someone's
them.
not listening to this and picks up your fucking
Don't know
rubbish,
if you've-
because then you're going to get aved in the window.
Well, like, you know, all you've got a white bag in there, not a black one. We can only take black bags. It's just like, mate, come on.
No, the rules are rules. You've got to,
Fuck me,
if they
you
start
know.
bending it for everyone.
Yeah, but come on, it's obviously rubbish. It's in a fucking bin. Take it. And they don't just not take the white bag. They go, oh, fuck that. It's
They're not
condemned.
taking all of it.
The whole bin has been touched by a white bag.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not sure what the old.
Yeah.
Something I wanted to say to you, Bees, was you've got.
A book out?
No, I
No.
have.
Oh,
I
sorry.
have.
Sorry, go
No
on.
one knew.
No one does. No.
You've got another business or another business. You've got a business as your.
I mean, I guess probably
doesn't know
technically I've
he's
got two other businesses, yeah. So I've got the. Yeah, you're lagging a little bit as well. I've got two businesses really, I guess technically. We've got the campsite, which is based just north of Bude, on the right side of the border, so still in Cornwall. And then I've got the pizza van that kind of goes with that. So I guess probably that's where the desire and the kind of request to kind of do business in school kind of came about. So when they wanted someone to teach business, I kind of put myself forward, whilst I was running the business at the time. And it's good in that sense because it means that I can kind of give a live and a realistic view on life as an entrepreneur as such. I mean, the kids probably get fed up of hearing about Atlantic Horizons.
Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Fuck Atlantic Horizons. What pizza place do you do?
Yes, we set up a horse box, a converted horse box here on the site. So we kind of serve prominently guests.
What's it called?
On site. It's called Kerno Pizza.
Nice, original.
Speech impairment.
Original. So where's Atlantic Horizons to?
It's opposite from Will Eckhart. No, not opposite there. A bit further on, but along that road, isn't it?
Bit further on. Yeah.
On the left.
Pretty much opposite the.
You've seen the sign umpteen times and not paid attention to
Is it a campsite?
Camping and glamping, yeah. We've got about 8 different glamping units up here and 5 camping pitches.
I'm going to come up. I love going camping with my boys. We do like every now and then we'll just go away for the night. We've got one of those little pop-up tents. Got a little. We take it along with a pizza, funny enough, but we won't have to eat that KJ shit anymore. We can get some of yours. And then we can. And then we just sit there eating, watching a film.
Nice.
Can you go into more detail about that, like with your brother and all?
Sorry, I missed you a little bit there.
I was just going to say, could you mind going into more detail about Atlantic Horizons with your brother and all that?
Yeah. So I mean, we kind of set this up because of my brother and his he unfortunately had his cardiac arrest about 10 years ago, and which kind of scuppered his plans for a career in the Navy. And we, decided that we had to land up here, and we talked about it prior to that anyway. And it was kind of like a bit of a push really to kind of go for it. So yeah, we're in it together as business partners. 5 years now I've been operating and gradually kind of developing and progressing as we've gone. So I mean, looking out there now, it's lovely. Sun's out. See the horizon from our place. It's beautiful.
Lush, though. Yeah.
So I didn't know that. So talk to me about your brother. Like, so your brother had a cardiac arrest. That's horrendous.
Yeah. He was out doing a training run, just coming down from the house here and going down the lane, and about probably 200 yards down the road, just kind of collapsed, cardiac arrest. And thankfully, kind of the events that kind of followed that with him being found by one of the neighbours who come and got kind of Mum and Charlie, and then thankfully someone drove past who kind of knew some CPR, which started that with him, and then luckily we had a first responder which was kind of relatively close by, who could come and give him his defib. Got his heart kind of going again, and of course got airlifted to Plymouth.
Wow, that's horrendous.
That was 10 years ago.
Yeah, about 10 years ago. Yeah.
And was that completely like? Did he have any kind of underlying conditions, or was that just completely out of the blue?
No, so we kind of didn't know that the underlying condition he had was a thing called long QT syndrome. So it's one of those. it's a thing that unless you test for it, you don't know you kind of really got it unless it's obviously within the family and the family kind of knows. So, as a family, I mean, it's kind of it turns out that it was on his dad's side, which is not kind of my dad. And yeah, that their side of the family kind of had this underlying condition, which they were not really aware of either. So, yeah, as you can imagine, obviously once that happened, we're all kind of tested to kind of find out trace it back to where it kind of came from, and yeah.
That must have been big for you and the family at the time, then. Obviously,
Huge, yeah.
Fucking hell, I can't imagine what that's like. That's horrendous.
Well, and then you kind of made that decision to go into business together. Obviously,
yeah, absolutely.
to
of course,
keep them close and that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the kind of cardiac arrest kind of had an impact on Brad. Obviously meant that he couldn't go into the Navy and do his things there. He's kind of got like a defib kind of thing installed in his chest.
Oh, wow.
Which will kind of kick off if his heart kind of goes out of rhythm as such. So yeah, so we kind of we need to kind of. I believe so. Yeah, it would have been something similar. Yeah.
Shocking. Sorry. Yeah,
it is shocking.
Just like if your heart stops and then it just gives it a kick back into life.
Yeah, which is phenomenal technology, really.
I can't understand that at all. It's amazing.
And in the early stages, I mean, I'm not sure whether it still works now as such, but certainly in the early stages, whenever it kind of went off, it kind of sent a reading back to the hospital, and then they would kind of communicate, with Bradley, with Mum, whether it's gone off, so that there's a recording there that his heart has kind of gone out of rhythm and it's kind of shocked him back into. But sometimes he wouldn't know. Do you know what I mean? It's not like he would collapse again. It would kind of go. It would almost kind of like pick it up straight away and kind of give the shock. And for Brad, it's like a little bit like almost like he's been hit in the chest. So
it has happened then.
It has happened. Yeah, certainly more in the early stages. Yeah. I don't know if he doesn't certainly talk about it as much now. So whether it does happen on occasions, it's nothing that he reports. But I guess because it's doing its job and because it doesn't kind of like stop him then from doing anything for a period of time. It's like almost a momentary shock, and then he just kind of continues what he's doing. So, but yeah, there's been no conversation of late where he's talked about it happening. So I don't know how often it does these days.
Oh, I've just died.
Oh no, dude, I'm just a bit annoyed. We've got this arsehole on for, and we should have had Brad on by the sounds of it. Joking. So, that's weird. I can't. I'm blown away by that.
Yeah,
absolutely blown away.
Like, it's just happened. Just worked. Because your brother could die obviously if he hasn't got it.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
My God, that's like you say, the technology on that.
So were you teaching back then?
Yes. Yeah.
Jesus Christ!
How long have you been teaching for?
I started training back in 2012.
Okay.
So
12 years ago.
Geez, so you've been affected by COVID and everything then. I bet that was an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. Yeah, absolutely.
So, I know you don't want to talk about your school specifically, which is understandable, but I mean, how old are you two? You're like what?
44.
So we're not a million miles away.
44 in December. You were born in December, aren't you?
Yeah.
Awesome guts.
So 45 this year.
Yeah, so 43, 4.
So we're not a million miles away. I'm 39. 9.
Yeah.
I mean, I look at kids now. Like certainly, my kids go to a local secondary school, and I just don't recognise it. Like, and I constantly feel for the teachers because I've got a couple of teacher friends as well, and I think it is a lot different now. I mean, there's big differences, isn't there, between when we went to school and what school's like now. Do you see and feel that?
Oh, 100%, 100%. I mean, I kind of often joke with my girls and kind of think, if the students in front of me behaved like probably Dave and I behaved when we were at school, how much of a nightmare that would be. Because we had a good time at school.
We did. And we had an interesting time at school. We did have a laugh.
Yeah.
Any funny
And,
stories you can tell us about
Well,
Dave
do you
at
know
school?
what, Steve? I mean, this is part of the reason why I'm here. You've touched on schooling quite a few times, and as I listen to your podcast, I'm like going, Dave's surely got to come up with that story. I'm waiting for it, and he doesn't. I'm like, how disappointing is that? But yeah, we've got some stories.
He probably forgot, to be honest.
I've been waiting for a time to. Well, I'll tell it near the end. We'll sign off on it. I think it could be one of those stories where, like, oh, you had to be there.
Oh,
I
really?
still remember it now, clear as day.
Oh,
Poor
okay.
fucker. So, honestly, it's one. When they say that when you die, your life flashes before your eyes. You have moments of time. That happening, you're going to be hanging there. It's just so funny.
So, okay,
yeah.
so what's the crack with? Because it's what annoys me at school. Right? So my kids' school, they don't really do like detentions and shit anymore, right? So when I was at school, it's very much like you did something when you had a lunchtime detention or you had a after-school detention and stuff like that. Not really, no. It's all very kind of. It's almost like I find it's like rehabilitation rather than punishment now. That's kind of. Is that the same in your school?
No, I mean there are consequences for poor choices in behaviour. I mean,
that wasn't very.
That's so teacher-like said.
Yeah.
There is consequences for the wrong decisions you make, young man. You fucked your intention, arsewhite.
Our place. I think I mean, Steve, you mentioned you got friends who are teachers as well, and if you talk to any teacher, probably the bane of their life majority of the time is managing behaviour. And thankfully,
but also
our
not
place,
normally made. Not. Oh, sorry, go
on. We manage behaviour. Well, our behaviour policy is pretty good now, to be fair. And I can confidently go into a lesson with the strategies that are in place that the school have implemented, and I personally have to manage little behaviour. I mean, part of that is the strategies. Part of that is probably my relationships with the students that you kind of build up, as every teacher does. To answer your question, yes. I mean, if people step out of line and they're not following the expectations, then there's a process for that, and that does lead to time in a specific space where there is a restorative conversation to be had.
Look at him there.
Such a teacher,
isn't it?
Yeah, he's actually got some vocabulary now. I should have heard him at school.
I mean, I don't know where I pulled that from. Maybe it's because of the constant, repetition that we have at school to kind of remind us of these things,
Yeah. Well, I imagine you've got
ultimately there is
guidelines are very strict. What you've got to follow.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, it's not the same every school. I mean, there are other schools locally which don't have the same policies in place where there's more behaviour issues than what we have. Do you know what I mean? So, but again, that's the school and how they want to approach it. I'll probably find it quite difficult now to probably go to a school that maybe doesn't have the same approach that we do, because then I feel like I'm going backwards then. You're having to kind of manage behaviour in a classroom, which is not what you want. And when you've got I'm sure, Dave, probably a little bit less so now because your kids have flocked the nest, haven't they, as such? But I don't know, how old are yours, Steve?
So I've got a 12-year-old, a 16-year-old, and a 17-year-old. So my two eldest, my two eldest are now at college, but I've still got a boy that's at secondary school, and it's just. I don't know. The problem is the science behind it, isn't it? Like I say, science. I think there's nothing better, and we kind of can only take this, can't we, from our own childhoods and things. The teacher chucking a board marker at you or a board rubber at you, getting in your face and shouting at you, making you lose your lunch so you don't have any lunch. Making you stay behind after school, making you go out picking up litter, where all your friends are playing and stuff like that. I think that's those consequences, rather than just kind of going, oh, don't do that again, otherwise I'm going to give you a bad point. It's just,
Do you think there's, because
sorry, I think think that was.
Oh, that was a question.
Yeah.
I didn't hear the question.
Oh, that's all right.
I thought it was a statement.
Well, that's because I hadn't finished because you fucking interrupted.
No, well, you stopped. If you stop, then I'll fucking speak.
So, what's your thoughts on that?
I didn't even hear the question. It was like two statements in one there.
No. Yes.
Don't start fucking marking my work.
Thank you very much. So bees. How? It's like when we were at school, you would get like there was still stories of like board rubbers being thrown around and all stuff like that. We'd sort of we're just at that point where that wasn't happening that much, unlike when my sister was at school a few years before.
It happened at my fucking school, and I'm younger than you.
But I think it's gone the other way too much. Because you must feel like sometimes given because I'll be like right, you bang, you get out.
Well,
bang,
you can't do that, dude.
No, I can't. But you must feel because you obviously get like I can think of a couple of mates at school that used to push and push and push our teachers and it must be weird for you in hindsight to look back on how we used to wind some of the teachers up. So I suppose my question, there must be a middle ground because it seems to have gone too far the other way, basically is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, again, I guess it depends on which establishment you're kind of operating at. I mean, I know our place will be different to other local schools, but I mean, we now, I mean, certainly this is not the case probably 3-4 years ago. I mean, 3-4 years ago when we were still under a different management then, you know, I've had students who when they've kind of losing their plot, there'll be kind of chairs being kind of thrown and tables flipped over and every name under the sun given to you. Do you know what I mean? At times, I'd kind of just get there first and I'd kind of go through those names first before you had a chance to kind of give it to, say them to me. The insults would kind of roll out and you'd be like, just jump in there first, get them in there and say, right, what else you got next? And then that would kind of stump them because they've got nothing left.
Just a little bit. Obviously, we just paused there for a second. It'd be nice to hear some of those insights.
What would they say to you?
I mean, the classics for me, you know. I think I was maybe more clean shaven then, but of course, you know, the big nose, the bald head, you know, that kind of stuff. The obvious ones.
Well, I can't because you've got a hat on. I
this
can't
why,
see.
Lacking hair.
Well, yeah.
He's lacking hair.
Okay. So I kind of throw those in there first, you know, and of course, then I kind of go back and I talk about, you know, my nicknames, you know, which I get thrown out these days from lots of Dave, Bees, Beacon, all come from having a big conker. You know, I mean, Dave's conker is obviously of a good size, and I think, you know, if you match the two up, I think he would probably just pit me with that one, but. And I've obviously got him on the hair stakes at the moment where I'm a nose off. But
so what would they shout at you across the
classroom? He just said, mate.
No, but I want to hear it. Like they're like, "Oh, fuck off, Baldy," or something like that. Or they just
I mean, the classics coming from like the same kind of individuals. I mean, again, I'm only talking about one or two possibly, you know, who would go this far, but it would be like, oh, your fucking big nose, your bald head, you know, and then just throughout the other words, you're a wanker, you know, and then you know any other derogatory words that they could kind of put in there. So I mean, I'd kind of like this one particular.
You stay calm. Sorry, go on. Yeah, sorry, delays. Shocking.
I said there's there's one particular time where one individual had kind of thrown his insults and then locked himself in one of the staff toilets. So I just pulled up a chair and just sat outside and waited for him. And he just kept, you know, poking his head out, see I was there, give me the finger, go back in again, you know, and just continue that until he got bored, you know, and then would kind of escort him up to where he needed to kind of go. So, yeah, having that patience to kind of not respond is definitely challenging at times. And again, I guess as you know me, Dave, there probably would be moments there where he'd be like, you know, if the old Boardman was kind of coming out, you know, maybe not so much, but I guess over time you learn to kind of you know, keep it all in, don't you?
Yeah, you've got to cope. So as being a teacher, has that helped you with your kids? Because how old are your kids?
Like 10 and 13.
Do your kids go to your school?
No.
No. Ah, interesting.
Is that because any reason?
Well, one of them's too young.
One of them's too young, and the other one, her friends go to the school that she goes to. So we all know the importance of friendships at a secondary school. So there's no way that I would kind of want to interfere with that. Kind of want to bring it to my school just because of whatever other reasons. So
yeah, no, fair play. Fucking hell. So have you got an SMT at your school?
an SMT.
Yeah.
What do you mean by an SMT?
That's a teacher talk for a senior management team.
We call them senior leadership teams. Yes, we do have a senior leadership team.
Ah, SLT. Okay.
Yeah.
Are they good? Are they slightly annoying?
There's been a big shake-up. You know what I mean? So again, I've got to kind of obviously naturally kind of watch what I say here, but who knows who's listening? But there's been changes. Put it that way.
I see.
There's
I see a lot of it's fucking delays doing my Sweden, isn't it? I see a lot of like videos on TikTok about SLTs and things like that, and how, there's this one woman on there that does a really good. I mean, I don't know, but I imagine like like they always tell everyone that they're an SLT. I'll share them with you afterwards. They're like, they've got their kind of whistle and their high vis on, and they're like, "Come on now, I'm SLT. Come on, I'm SLT. Come on, Sandra." They're just they're very kind of. I can just imagine that's what it's like at school. Yeah, I've seen the ones down at where my boy goes to school, and very much.
Is it?
Very, like slightly got a little bit more power than the teachers, not as much as the head teacher, but it gives them that kind of like authority,
Okay.
But obviously we're not going to expect Alex to talk about that. I appreciate that.
Because we didn't have that when we were at school, did we?
No.
I don't recall. It's just teachers.
No.
Like, was it deputy head and then head teacher? Or do you have heads of departments, didn't you?
Yeah. There probably would have been the deputies, and I guess probably like for us back then, your heads of departments or heads of years, they would have been your SLTs. They're typically your SLT members.
But they didn't care too much about it, did they?
No, well, yeah. Our school operates slightly differently. We've got all the SLT members for our place. Are their leaderships of reading, their leaderships of literacy, their leaderships of careers, their leaderships of behaviour. Do you know what I mean? So you've got those kind of leader members who are your SLTs, and they kind of have their little kind of domain that they look after, as opposed to like having two or three that are looking over the whole thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it makes total fucking sense. Yeah, I was an arsehole at school, like right from primary school. I remember I went to a Catholic primary school. I wasn't Catholic, but I went there anyway. It's just what I do. And I used to, I got into trouble once for chucking a knife in the dinner table at my friend, because he was just really fucking annoying me. He was. We were a couple of arseholes anyway. I imagine a bit like you two actually at school. And we used to do this really annoying like police siren noise everywhere. Like we used to. I'm talking primary school, by the way, not secondary school. So we used to kind of run around the playground pretending we were like police cars and stuff. And I'd even do that just to indicate that my beacon was on. So I'd do that, and I'd make the sound.
I bet you were really annoying.
But then we'd go into school, when we were going to lunch, and we used to get all our dinner and mix it all up, and we used to call it a stew because we used to say you could eat it quicker if it was all mixed up. I'm not sure if that's fact or. And then, one day I chucked a knife at him. I don't know what he did, I can't remember. But I was just horrible at school. I think I was always trying to seek attention. I didn't really have any friends. You were being abused at the time, weren't you? Yeah,
so that probably didn't help.
No, I just wanted my daddy, maybe. Maybe that was the thing. But then at secondary school I was an arsehole. You all right? I was an arsehole as well, But what were you like at school then?
I wasn't too bad.
Really?
I wasn't too bad.
Dick.
Were you a boffin?
Dick.
Of course he was a dick. He's going to
There was a group of us that would just create havoc in the form room.
Are there any teachers currently at Budehaven. Oh yeah, I didn't think I was be able to say that then. That's where you went to
no,
school.
yeah, no, it's fine.
That
are still there
are
now.
still there. That were your teachers.
No,
Well, not one.
no, but they were teaching my boys up until recently. Mr. Dyer was there, wasn't he? Do you know where he is now?
Yeah. He's abroad
Head
somewhere,
teacher
isn't
in
he?
Nigeria.
Holy fuck! How do you
Is
manage
that right?
that?
Yeah, I saw
I
him
didn't
in the
realise
pub a
that.
couple of weeks ago.
Jesus.
Are you
Yeah.
sure you haven't just been scammed? He's this fucking arsehole.
Scam.
Hello, it's Mr. Dyer. I need you to send me over all my money. Remember when I used to teach you in school?
Yeah, he's like, I said to him, what are you up to now? He goes, oh, I'm in Nigeria. I'm a head teacher. I'm like, no, you're not. And he's like, no, I am.
So, any other teachers?
No, none.
No, not now.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Apart
Not
from,
now.
I mean, I don't know whether there's one though, I don't know whether he's still teaching. I don't think he does now, but I know Mr. Thomas was hanging on for a little while in the science department.
Mr. Thomas is still there.
Is he still there, is he?
About 18 months, 2 years ago, yes. I'm sure he still is now.
Right.
Yeah. He used to have a temper, didn't he? Fuck me.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
God, he would. You know, he was one of the teachers that made me think twice about winding him up.
Well, there you are. I mean,
Yeah.
that should.
Yeah, there was a
teach
couple,
you-
weren't there?
Well, that's
Yeah.
it's interesting though, because do you now think, Alex, like when you've got your own kids in your class, does it make you realise like this is quite a tough job?
No, to be honest, mate, I think, you know, I'm a big believer in kind of creating relationships with your students. And when you've got a tutor group, obviously you see them the days you're in. I mean, I'm only in 3 days a week, you know. So for those 3 days, you know, when you see them, you create that relationship with them. And I always talk about, you know, kind of mutual respect between the two of us. So as long as they know where that line is, and as long as we can kind of you know, follow expectations of the school, and we can have a good time. You know, we're quite relaxed. You know, I'm not kind of one of these teachers that kind of, you know, constantly, you know, pushing the expectations as such. You know, I follow them, of course, but you know, we have a good time. It's all right.
It does
Yeah,
sound good.
yeah, you sound like a good teacher, dude.
But I imagine it sometimes it's also really difficult as well. I mean, my wife worked in education for a couple of years, and she found it. I think there's quite, you know, there's obviously your core kind of, you know, go to work, teach the kids, but of course, I mean, I'm only making some quite wide assumptions here, but it doesn't. If you really love teaching and you're really into it and you care about the kids, it can't just stop there. You know, you've got, because I mean, you've had COVID, obviously, but even before and after now, you've got the cost of living crisis and everything. I mean, she used to have kids that wouldn't come in and have any breakfast, so she'd take breakfast in for those kids. You know, there'd be some kids that maybe they haven't got, you know, their feet, their shoes are hanging off their feet, and I imagine it's quite difficult to not be involved. You know, I would say personally, it sounds odd, but you know what I mean, like not be involved, like beyond the role of duty, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I can only vouch for our place, and I'd probably say this has been quite common at the schools that I've worked in the past. But yeah, we've got quite a stringent kind of process when it comes to, you know, student welfare. You know, it's all of our responsibility to make sure we kind of check in with students and to report anything that we kind of see, even down to the smallest things. We've got processes where we have to kind of record stuff online, you know, in a note form, just to kind of ensure there's a clear picture there. So if anything does, you know, kind of happen, there's enough evidence there to kind of support, you know, those students that may need a breakfast in the morning. There are a breakfast club to kind of support with that. You know, we have a huge amount of kind of of uniform which kind of gets handed out on a daily basis. For those that kind of struggle with kind of affording those things. So yeah, I think in schools now there's a massive awareness of that. And again, depending on your school and how they approach it, I know from our standpoint, you know, we kind of do what we can to make sure, you know, students have got all the right kit. And again, that comes down to, in support of that, is that, you know, and I'm sure you probably get the same thing at other schools around here, but we've got a big thing about no branding, you know, making sure that students are wearing all the same uniform, you know, straight black shoes, no canvas, you know, to avoid anything where, you know, it could, you know, promote any kind of bullying because just someone's not wearing like the cool pair of shoes type thing. So, and I think if you maintain your stand on that, then you kind of get, you know, a good atmosphere within the school. You don't get the kind of so much of the bullying that you might kind of traditionally talk about. I mean, there's always those classics where you go, oh, that kid's going to get his head put down the toilet because they're not wearing those shoes type thing, you know, or anything like that. But for us, you know, it's, but again, we're a much smaller school. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, people might say a little bit naive because we've only got 250 odd kids in our school, but obviously I've worked in bigger schools as well. But, you know, ours is a great place in that sense. You know, kids thrive there. We have lots of students that come to us who struggled elsewhere, and they kind of, you know, it's the right place for them.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, because I think kids are inherently they're nice, right? I mean, they want to be kind, they want to be liked. They're dealing with a lot. They're dealing with hormones. They're dealing with a lot of social pressures and stuff like that. But I think, you know, my son's been involved with being bullied and bullying, and you know, and the school have been okay, you know, on both ends of it. And I think, you know, where was I going with that? Yeah, they just need that guidance, don't they? You know, I don't think kids mean to be arseholes. They don't mean to be, you know, they just really are finding their place, and there's a lot of social pressures on kids. And now we've got the extra kind of pressure of you know, just life generally being a bit more difficult. You know, there's a lot less, I don't know what they call it. Was it called a nuclear family, where you got a mum and a dad? That's a school word, isn't it? What's for a normal family? Normal, you know, there's a lot less of that, isn't there? There's a lot less.
Yeah,
you know,
I understand what you mean. Yeah,
you know, so I think I do have a lot of respect for teachers now. I think it probably is. Someone said to me, it's more like being a social worker a lot of the time than you know. And then you've got all the pressures that are placed on you to do, you know, pick up the extra work with, you know, extra lessons. And I know a friend of mine is a TA and is teaching lessons because there isn't a teacher. And all of these things, and of course you do it because you could just be like, no, fuck you. I'm a TA. I'm not doing that. But you do it because you care about the kids and you want them to have a. And I'm getting to a question. Sorry, and I'm just wondering, you know, because I'm starting to paint a picture of you in my head, like, you know, when you tie that together with your brother and, you know, running a business and the fact you got your own kids and, you know, and COVID and everything else that goes on. How do you look after yourself? You know, how do you sort yourself out?
Get up early and do a lot of stuff before everyone else gets up. No, I mean, obviously, you know, as I've kind of got older, you know, my kind of interests and hobbies have kind of changed over time, and I find now surfing's always been a big part of my life. So as and when I can, yeah, that's really important to me to kind of to do that. I mean, you've touched on it on various episodes previously, and I think the importance of getting out there and doing something for yourself, whether it's with other people in like some kind of team base, or, you know, I kind of go to the gym as well, do some CrossFit. So, you know, kind of doing stuff like that with other people is great. But I also massively enjoy.
Do you do CrossFit in Bude?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, do you know a mate of mine, bald-haired with ginger, used to be a teacher? Glasses.
Depends which cross. I mean, did you go to the CrossFit in Bude, Chris?
Yeah.
Don't know. I mean,
no,
I'm not sure. I mean, obviously, I kind of go. My mornings, I do 2 mornings a week, 6 o'clock in the morning, get it done before I have to go to work and stuff. Yeah. So you only generally see the same people at the same times.
He does the 7 o'clock. That'll be why early bird and all that.
Oh, is it?
So, Bees, Do you, from when you
Yeah.
started teaching like 10, 12 years ago to now, have you noticed a change in sort of mental health problems isn't the right word, but mental health, a change in students coming forward and talking about mental health and there being more issues with anxiety and that? Have you seen a big rise? And also since COVID and that, have you seen a big difference?
Oh yeah, massively, 100%.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I think the great thing is that with all the kind of stuff that's happening, within schools, outside of schools, stuff like you guys are kind of doing to try and promote and push people to kind of come forwards and talk about it. That kind of definitely helps. And again, like we have obviously kind of a very clear policy in school that, if students kind of do approach you with any concerns, you have to kind of do certain things to ensure that you can't say, "Oh, I'm going to keep it to myself," and you have to share it with with the right people in the school, etc. So again, as long as that dialogue is like clear with them, they do. I mean, again, they will kind of come forwards. Not all, some do kind of hide it, but definitely there has been a rise, and I think the schools themselves have certainly had to kind of change the way in which they kind of approach things, and the kind of staffing they have in schools as well. We have kind of welfare staff in school, so they kind of check in on students, on a regular basis to make sure they're okay, and give them the time to kind of have those conversations. They might not be able to kind of have those conversations at home. In an environment where they might feel comfortable. They call them a trusted adult in school.
Okay.
And why do you think, can you sort of maybe, is there anything that springs to mind if I say, what do you think the reason for the mental health sort of rise is with the kids of the age that you teach? Is there anything that springs to mind?
I mean, COVID, obviously, you mentioned COVID. COVID's been a big thing. And that certainly has impacted some students, with not being able to kind of get out and being at home, and then the kind of worries, anxieties it has kind of, kind of given some students. I mean, there are probably still some students at some schools, and certainly there's been a few at ours that have only just been taking their masks off. Do you know what I mean? So there obviously has been quite a bit of anxiety with that as well.
Some students.
Yeah. So I mean that's one of those things, which I can hear you kind of talking. Is there like the lag in the video?
Alex, are you still on the Wi-Fi at your end?
Yeah. I've got, so mine's not changed the whole time I've been here. So
we seem to have lost Alex there. For
it keeps saying now it's reconnecting. So
it's like
I've got Wi-Fi
BBC,
and
it's like,
we seem to have
lost our connection with the satellites. We'll just join it in a minute.
The geezer with the funny eye?
You've completely stopped now as well.
Presenter. He's blind. He's funny eye, but he's blind, but he's got one eye looks sort of up. And they said to him, they went to report, and they said, "Oh, what do you see there?"
What did he say?
Well, I can't remember, but it was like, he's blind. He can't bloody see.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on at the moment.
You gone, boys?
I hope Alex jumps back on. That would be really annoying if he doesn't. But
if not, I'll just have to tell the story about him.
Yeah, like he's not here.
Yeah, well, he wouldn't be here.
Well, no, but he's not here. Have you got your phone? Why don't you send him a... Oh! Hey, he's back! We said it was a bit like BBC there for a second. We've carried on recording. We're just going to, we'll just fluff over that bit.
Fluff over it?
Yeah,
I mean, you guys are still frozen, so... I mean, you're still in the same position you were a minute ago with your finger up his arse.
Well, the good thing about this is it records separately. Your end records. We're not recording both, so it should work out in the end. But who knows?
So I just keep on talking, and you fill the void.
It's basically our multi-million-dollar setup, multi-million yen.
If only people saw what this looked like.
Yeah. I realised as well, Alex, that I didn't let you fully answer my question because of the delay and stuff. So I'm sorry about that. About you were saying that you do CrossFit, you go paddleboarding, not paddleboarding, surfing.
This bugger here runs fucking. How many kilometres did you run a couple of years back? He does like the long distance running stuff.
Lad.
Yeah.
I was going to say I thought he was a runner because I spotted a Garmin on his his wrist.
Not so much a Garmin. It's a Sunto, but
okay.
yeah, no. And again, that's
have those.
yeah. I mean, that's again. You mentioned about kind of things to kind of do for yourself, and that is for me. One of the big things. I mean, I've not done much running since my last event, which is what probably Dave was talking about, which was 112 miles coast to coast over the two moors, Dartmoor and Exmoor.
112 miles, dude.
Nice.
Yeah, but that's my time for myself. Do you know what I mean? That's where I kind of get out and just kind of clear the head and. Obviously when you're training for that kind of stuff, there's hours out there where you're putting in the hours for training. So it's a good opportunity to, have time for yourself. I mean, it's all done off road. So, I mean, we live in a beautiful area. So yeah, to me, kind of trail running is that opportunity just to kind of disconnect and just get out there. And now I've got a dog as well, which is my little companion. So, he kind of comes with me, which is lovely.
Do Canicross?
I don't do well. No, not officially. No, I mean obviously I'll run with a belt and put him on a belt when there's a need for it. But other than that, no. I try and go places where he can run free.
You don't need to be embarrassed. It sounds like you do Canicross.
Yeah, it does. It does. It
does sound like you do Canicross, but you can tie it up whatever way you want. You wear a belt with a dog and you run with it. I mean, that sounds like, Canicross, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So have you got a wife or a husband or?
I've got a wife, yes. Both.
How long have you been with your wife?
We've been together now for 24 years, 25 years.
Holy shit. Yeah. So you met quite young as well then?
Yeah. My wife, Faye, she was kind of coming out of sixth form, kind of going into university. I was kind of starting university myself just a year before. So yeah, we kind of obviously went different places. I was up in York, she was in London, but we made it work and got married in 2013. And here we are.
Class.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
And is she in education? Is she in education? She's still at school. No, is she a teacher or? Because that's normally teachers normally do that.
Stop waving that fucking case around.
They normally, that's how people normally meet, isn't it? They normally do both doing the same thing.
Yeah, no, she's not in education. I mean, she does work for a company which deals with home-based learning. But yeah, she's not a teacher herself, no.
Oh, fair enough. But again, is she very supportive with all your running and your school and obviously the stresses that come with that?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Because that can't always be easy.
No, definitely not. I mean, I guess probably less so with the running. I mean, she's obviously seen me go through some tough times with the running. It's never been straightforward. It's never been easy. And the time that you have to kind of take out to put the training in, is... it can be quite consuming. So after this last run, she was like, "That's it, no more." And I'm kind of like, "Yeah, no more at all." And then I've just come across a race that's taken my fancy. So it's a little bit longer than the one I've just done. So I mean, it's at some point I'll.
Is it?
Kind of, yeah. It's a 200 miler.
How far, dude? Fucking hell! Yeah. 200 miles?
If you're doing races like fucking 120 miles, what's an extra fucking 80 miles?
Yeah, true. What's because do you read Goggins at all? Or do you read Goggins? Have you read Goggins' book, David Goggins?
Nah, obviously I'm aware of who he is, but no, I've never listened to any of his kind of podcasts or read his book or anything. No, I'm not a big reader. Do you know what I mean? You talk about kind of time. I don't find I've got time to read. I can't read either. No, that's right.
Yeah, see the difference. Me and Alex, we work full time. You basically just do a couple of hours in the evening, and then you got all day off. So
your forehead just looks like it needs slapping.
It's different. We don't have time. Have you read Dave's book yet, Alex?
Obviously.
Still waiting for a copy to come through the post for the signature in it.
You can't afford it.
I've heard, if you're interested, I have heard they've got some up at Sue Ryder in Bude that people have donated. I think they're only like 50, 60p now.
I'm going to buy them back and sell them on again.
So
I should have discovered that one that was in Sainsbury's that time, shouldn't I? The freebie.
Sainsbury's.
Is it?
I don't know, is it? He does. He puts them everywhere, doesn't he?
Oh no!
Well, did you talk about you stuck one in Sainsbury's? Where did you stick one? Was it Waterstones? Was it? I thought you stuck one in Sainsbury's. Yeah, you said I'm free. Take me.
No, just Waterstones. And there was a lady stood there looking at it and picked it up, and I went, "Oh, I've put that book there. They're free." And like, I held the book up to my face, go and see it's me. And she looked like she was thinking, "Who the fuck is this nutter?"
Weird thing to do.
And I'm like, you can take it, it's just free, so I've just put it there, but I'm not sure if Waterstones will let you walk out with a book that's in their shop that's not theirs. So she just looked freaked out.
Oh yeah, I mean, you probably made it really awkward as well.
Yeah. Well, I put like, if you take this book, it's free. And then the hashtag, but no one ever did. Waterstones probably come across it was like, dump this shit.
Yeah, probably put it out in the fucking backyard or something.
Fuel for the fire.
Go on.
Have you ever struggled with mental health at all?
No, I can't say I have. Do you know what? The interesting thing is that obviously I've been listening to your podcast, and there's been so many kind of times where I've been reflective on my own mental health, and I've always found it very difficult to kind of go, has there been don't get me wrong, of course you feel down at times or things are hard, etc., but I can't say that I would say I've struggled with my own mental health at any point. I can't. It'd be hard for me to kind of put a time on that where I've kind of thought that was really kind of bad. But I've had close people around me who have. Do you know what I mean? So I kind of have seen it kind of firsthand. Take grip of people and the impact that it has.
So that's interesting, like, and I'm not saying that you never have, like, or that you have or whatever, but do you think that part of that might be because you're kind of relating to a couple of quite big things in your life, like obviously your brother and what happened to him, and also what you see daily with the kids and how they struggle, that perhaps maybe that almost maybe makes how you potentially could be feel like it's not as bad, so to speak, or do you think that's just, or do you think I guess that's what I'm trying to get at is I mean, I sometimes think to myself, oh God, I'm so lucky, like that I've got all my arms and my legs and my functions and everything like that, but actually that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because actually mental health is a very personal thing that one person's traumas and stresses are not comparable with another one's.
I mean, it'd be tough for me to kind of say yes, that would be the case, because I can't say I've ever thought about it in that way. I mean, if I've kind of ever thought about it before and tried to reflect on it, there's been a part of me that's kind of gone, I haven't got time for it. Do you know what I mean? I've got so much stuff on, like I haven't got time to let it kind of take a grip if it ever kind of was getting to. I mean, again, I haven't experienced it to a degree where it's taking control and I'm aware of it. Do you know what I mean? So, I don't know. That's how I guess I probably looked at it in the past. And whilst I've been kind of listening to your podcast and had that moment to kind of go, have I? If so, when? If not, why not? They're just, kind of questions that I've tried to answer, but probably couldn't. But a lot of it kind of comes for me. I guess comes down to I'm just busy. Do you know what I mean? I've got so much stuff on that you just keeping busy all the time. And that's me. I like to keep busy. I find it very hard to sit and relax. And my wife will be the first one to vouch for that. And if I do, I'm probably falling asleep. So that's why I shouldn't tell me to relax too much. It's like. I mean, I'm either all or nothing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you've always been pretty chilled, though. I know it doesn't mean people don't struggle with mental health, but you've always been someone that's just cracked on with things and always been very chilled about it as well. Even at school, you're always on the go.
Yeah. I think Yeah, I think for me that's just for my life, and of course with the two businesses running and teaching as well, and like you said, family, kids clubs, and then trying to fit in your own thing around that. There's not a lot of time left in the day.
Go.
Why teaching?
Coaching, the coaching I kind of was doing didn't really kind of fulfill the desire to kind of give back. Obviously, we touched on it earlier on about my own experiences and times at school, and always kind of wish, you always kind of reflect and kind of go, oh, of course I could have done way better. And I'm quite open with the students at school. I kind of tell them how I kind of got on to school and my GCSEs, which were pretty much non-existent. And that's then the hard work you have to put in afterwards to kind of get to where, I am now. those those kind of lessons when you're kind of 25 and you're going back to your old maths teacher, big up Mr. Tilsey, to kind of get you over the line to become a teacher. There's a lot to be said with that, and of course, the message to kind of students these days, from myself is, get it done now whilst the time is set aside for you. And if it doesn't happen now, it's not the end of the world. So, I often talk from real life experience with that, and kind of being able to kind of get back into education and kind of just share those experiences and kind of give students opportunities that maybe I had or didn't have when I was at school, but now I'm able to kind of do something about it.
I like it. I like your
I
attitude.
do, but one thing why was that you said about picking you wanted to give back? Where do you think that came from?
Again, I guess from my own experiences at school, we like Dave said, we messed about a lot, and if I could kind of roll it all out again, I'd still want to have those times, because some of the shit that went down was like just priceless and stuff you remember forever, and stories that you kind of tell your own kids, and stories that I share with like my students at school as well. I mean, there's some classics, but to be able to kind of have that person who's saying, look, have fun, enjoy yourself, but also don't waste your time.
So do you have moments at school when it's all like kicking off, like there's like a man pile, and you've just got to let it play out because you just know, like in 10, 20 years, these boys are going to be looked back and like Mr. Boardman sat in the corner like smug, and they're all having a man pile. Have you had moments like that? You think, oh, I know what that used to feel like.
Absolutely. I mean, there's one particular time where someone farted in lesson, and I absolutely couldn't. I had to walk out the room. I was crying. Literally, I mean, like the class had to just kind of like sit and wait. I mean, obviously they were laughing too, and I had to kind of just kind of like compose myself and come back in, and they knew exactly what was kind of going on. But it was the funniest thing. It was hilarious. So there's been moments.
You were
like
in design, weren't you, when Jules dropped his guts?
Yeah. There's been a number of times. I mean, we had one recently, but I think the best one was we were kind of delivering a yoga session, and we had this class, all kind of lay on the floor, kind of having their fight, whatever I don't know what they call it now, but that moment where they just sit and lie, and someone did it then, and I mean, talk about timing. It was, I mean, it's funny, and again, you got to kind of like. You got to roll with it, haven't you? If you try then try and stop a whole class who are absolutely crying in laughter, and you're trying to be that kind of come on now, let's all kind of like compose ourselves. Yeah, you just got to kind of roll with it, haven't you?
Nah.
And then it's human, isn't it? They kind of see you as being like a human too, because
it helps.
It is. Yeah, they can connect to you.
It massively helps. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, we only had a
love it. So I want to hear this fucking story. Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah, go for it. No, go for it. Go.
No, go on.
No, go on. You carry on. There was a delay. Go on. You carry on.
No, I was just saying we had a family stay up here on site actually. A lovely family. There's 5 kids in the family. Every single one of them has come through the same school that I've been teaching at, and we're on the youngest one now, the only kind of female in the family, apart from obviously the mother, but they're all boys. But it was her 16th birthday. But when they stayed up here the other weekend, I kind of spent some time, sat down and chat with them, again, it's just nice kind of sitting there and hearing them talk about their experiences and their stories of my time with them, and they're coming up with some crackers, of stuff that kind of went down in school. It is funny, and to say it's just showing you human in the day. And I think that's really important.
It's a good attitude to have.
It is. No, it's solid as well, because it's funny, when we started this episode, and I was kind of feeling quite frustrated about teachers now versus teachers what they used to be like. But actually, in a weird way, Alex, you've kind of changed my perception on it a little bit. I can see the real benefits actually of being a lot more relatable, rather than taking that kind of like real authoritarian approach, and that kind of, shouting and leading, almost, I suppose, ruling by fear, rather than kind of going for a more cooperative, respectful route that I hadn't really considered anymore.
I suppose it depends on the student. Some students might need sort of an arm round, and then other ones maybe. I suppose you just got to...
Yeah, but I suppose it's that whole teaching, I think it goes hand to hand with parenting as well, doesn't it? Again, when I bet your dad, like, I don't know, my dad was slightly different, but even when he wasn't being a pedo, like, he was very strict. He would hit me with a slipper, a belt. I'd be scared of him. And that kind of doesn't happen anymore. And sometimes I do find myself going, "Oh, do you know what? Fucking back in my day, you would have." I don't know why I don't go northern, but
no.
You would have got. But I actually see the benefit in being more. You're leading by example, rather than you're almost wanting the kids to mirror how you're being.
Yeah.
Not kind of scaring them into submission, kind of thing.
Yeah, but I suppose but then students take it too far, don't they?
Yeah, and I think you're absolutely right. And I think, don't get me wrong, there's probably loads of teachers like me, and there are loads of teachers who probably take a bit more of an authoritarian approach, and that's absolutely fine. That's the way we want to kind of go. And of course, I'm very kind of clear with my students. I have that line, and I kind of express that with them, that there's a very clear line with what I expect from them in regards to their behaviour, their attitude to the learning, etc., etc. So, and again, like mimicking that with my own kind of kids, my girls, they know exactly where the line is, and they know, my kind of body language, my tone, and how that kind of changes when they've stepped over that line. And I try to do the same thing at school as well, so I'm consistent with that. And I think, I do the best I can to make sure that, we know where we stand. And I think that really works for me anyway as a teacher.
Right, so I tell this story.
Tell the story. I want to hear it.
Tell the story.
I know your face is just going to be like...
There are multiple, aren't there, Dave? But I mean, you go ahead with there's the rubber throwing incident in the classroom. But I know which one you're kind of drawn to, which is one you bring up all the time.
Oh, this one's an absolute classic. But this, just a short one. He threw a rubber one, didn't it? Bounced off about 15 walls. It didn't, honestly. It was like 2 walls or something. And fucking smashed the bloody fire alarm.
Oh, God. Yeah. Chances of that happening.
Yeah.
That was big bad
hang on,
at school, smashing the fire alarm, isn't it?
Hang on a minute, Dave. You missed the point in the fact that the fire alarm was in the corner that was behind me when I threw it. So I threw it in the opposite direction to the fire alarm, and it kind of ping-ponged like some kind of, cowboy western movie off all these walls.
Nice.
And then,
you couldn't have done that again if you tried. If someone paid you
$1 million
times, you'd never be able to do that again.
Yeah. 1 million times, definitely not. No.
So there was me, you, Ant, John. Who else was there? Jules. Was there 5 or 6 of us?
I think so.
Playing like this. We were playing like with this tennis ball, and this tennis ball ended up on top of the roof. So we're like, because Bees was always like the one that was. You had to be there. Was like the most athletic out of all of us. I was relatively athletic, but not compared to him. So we're like, right, get Beeswax up onto jimmy him up onto the roof. Like, gets the ball, nice one, Bees, cheers, lad. So and as he gets back down, drops back down, his T-shirt gets caught on this fence, on this wooden fence, and basically he's hanging like this, like, and his shirt is like ripped. And honestly, mate, fucking probably, if not the funniest thing I've ever seen.
You must have looked like Jesus on the cross.
Oh, mate, because he was obviously like this, and his head was like to one angle, and all the boys were like fucking absolutely kind of gets out, fucking back of his shirt's hanging off.
Did you not get him down?
I did.
But after a moment of laughing and throwing a ball at me, yeah, I mean, I was like a prime target for a moment.
Fuck.
I think he's sort of, because from in my memory, you're there for about 20 minutes. Just like that, Jesus on the cross, and we're all crying. It was more like about 10, 20 seconds. It might not have even been that.
Should have left him up on the roof. That would have been funny.
No, he would have got down somehow. He was like flipping...
Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man. Yeah, and it sort of ripped, and I think he just sort of fell to the ground, and then we had to... Can't remember if he took his shirt off, or we sort of hooked it back over.
Fucking hell.
And he spent the whole day... just... What did you... I've never asked you this. What did your mum say?
I can't remember. Probably nothing really. Just, yeah, no, nothing. Probably even acknowledged.
Can you
just
imagine
a torn
explaining
shirt.
that to your mum? What? Yeah, what happened to your shirt, son? Oh, I was up on a roof, jumped down, and it ended up hanging like Jesus.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, honestly.
Did you hurt yourself?
I don't know actually.
No,
if you hurt yourself. I never asked.
No, yeah, never. I didn't care. No, definitely didn't hurt myself. It was just one of those moments, just being hung up there. I think we're like playing bucks or something at the time, so I was kind of like prime target and balls thrown at me.
What's bucks?
Bucks is where you so you throw the ball against the wall, isn't it? I can't remember, how do people end up in front of the ball?
So you threw the ball against the wall, and if anyone was in front of you, you had a free shot at them. If you hit them, they'd go then stand against the wall, and you had 1-3 throw them as hard as you can. So yeah, the idea was to try and get someone in front of you. It was a great game.
There was 2 or 3 lads that could throw the ball fucking hard as well. And that used to really... I think it didn't all get hit in the nuts one time.
Oh yeah,
that's the worst.
Yeah. Anyway,
it's probably like the old school, the old school red arse, isn't it? They play red arse these days, don't they? It's probably the old school
red arse. What's that? Sounds like my kind of game.
It's a football game where it's the same kind of thing. I think they play like keepy uppies, and whoever lets the ball bounce twice has to go and stand against the fence where someone can kind of like pelt the ball at them.
Oh, that sounds like a good game.
Yeah. Surprised it hasn't been banned because they're not able to play British Bulldog anymore. No, that's a good game. Yeah. I used to love that.
You talked about earlier on about kind of sometimes turn a blind eye. Well, I don't often see red arse being played.
No.
That would be our sort of game that we would have definitely played, mate. 100%. I would have run up. I would have taken about a 50-foot run up and slammed that thing so hard.
Do you still have dinner ladies at school?
No, we have ladies who serve the dinner, but not people who walk around and kind of... That's staff to do that, do you know what I mean? Like, that's no job for other staff in the school. Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking hell. What, like the SLT?
Not so much.
Nah. So, quick question for you.
Go for it.
No, you go first because you were going to say something. Sorry.
No.
They get paid more, were you going to say?
No, I was going to say the ones that get paid that do that duty, they get paid for doing it. So it's not like it's just shoehorned into their contract.
I used to love our dinner. Especially at this Catholic primary school. They were lovely. There's one called Miss Love. She was called, obviously.
Love.
Fucking, just what a name. She was lovely. And if you were feeling a bit sad during the day, you could go and hold her hand and walk around the playground with her. And then we had one called Mrs. Terry, and she was a fucking like...
I bet she's an animal.
Oh, she was like the head dinner lady. And she reminded me of Miss Trunchbull. You know what I mean? She's a fucking growl. I don't think she was just wheezing. And she was just like walking around like... She just fucking hated kids. Absolutely fucking hated kids. But no, Miss Love, she was a treat.
Was she?
Oh, she was lovely. And of course, there's a couple of teachers at my secondary school. Fit. Did you ever have any?
Yeah, there's a couple of tasty ones on there. I'm not going to say out loud who.
No.
Just in case they watch us, that would be weird.
Yeah.
Oh, he's gone.
He's run off. He's back.
I was wondering, are you sponsored by Dickies?
Yeah.
No,
Workwear in Stratton, aren't they?
Yeah.
Is it
That's
just
it,
them on
yeah.
their own, or are they a national company?
No, it's not Dickies. That's just one of the brands,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I think.
You're right.
I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on, ask your question to Bees.
What is your definition of love?
I knew this was coming. It's a staple in of every podcast.
Oh, we need to change.
I guess for me, yeah, you should have thrown in a curveball.
Yeah.
I guess it's for me it's a mutual understanding, it's a mutual respect between two people. You know, whether that's of a kind of a relationship that you've got with a partner, or a relationship you've got with your friends. That mutual respect, that mutual understanding. To me, that kind of defines it.
It is. It's just a mutual respect.
Would you be able to ask Faye when you get home?
Ask her what
And then
definition
maybe
is.
put it on the comments when we upload this in a few weeks.
Be interested to know if
And then you
she's
could-
if it's the same.
Yeah. She'd be like, I just want good sex. And you'll be like, oh, really? Oh, shit.
Damn it! What have we been doing all this time?
Yeah. She fucking shit out there 25 years ago, didn't she?
Oh, that is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll ask the question.
No,
I'll
ask
let you
him,
know.
mate. That'd be interesting. That would be interesting. I've got to say, Pricey, your shorts are extraordinary. They've got fucking is it cockatoos on them?
Parrots.
Parrots.
Yeah.
Isn't it cockatoo?
Well, I don't think we need. I think that's semantics. We don't need to be getting.
You love fucking
specific.
saying that word.
I
don't
love
you?
semantics. Yeah.
They're
They're just
I mean,
something I
there's-
chucked on this morning.
Yeah, I can
To be
see
honest.
that.
There's definitely been less love for the pillow this time and more the phone case. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Spinning that fucking thing
Yeah.
for about half an hour. I'm thinking I'm going to throw that thing out the window.
Well, it's because I'm not allowed to vape on it anymore. I'm not allowed to.
That's funny, isn't it?
I've got to have something. I've got to have something in my hand.
Stick them up your ring.
What? Put my fingers up my arse.
That's what I just said. Yeah.
Why would I want to do that?
Well, it keeps them out of the way then.
Fucking hell.
Anyway,
So,
How was your
just really quickly
Pricey?
then.
Go for it.
Yeah, go on. No.
That sounded good. Go on.
It's not. No, I was just going to ask you how you're. Obviously, been following you on these podcasts, and there's been lots of talk about kind of your own kind of health and nutrition and things. How's that all going?
Well, yeah, this is
Good
always
question,
up.
mate.
It is a very good question. I mean, I've been alcohol free since the 1st of September.
Since the first
Nice.
of this morning.
No, so that, and do you know what? Actually, that's been quite
Is that why you've been unreasonable the last couple of weeks?
unreasonable. That's been quite nice, and I've actually been to the pub a couple of times as well with my same group of friends, and not I've just been on the alcohol free or the or Diet Coke really, and
They're good
and
these
it's
days,
been
aren't
really
they? Those
nice.
drinks?
Some really good ones. And you've got the old...
Oh yes, I've got a Peloton bike which I've been doing every morning. I've started up doing a little bit of running. I'm trying to get back into my running.
you got your phalangitis back.
I got my fucking phalangitis, but it's my own fault. You don't learn these things, do you? Because I hadn't run for a few weeks, and then I just started running every day,
For a few weeks.
and then maybe a month, and then I started running every day, and of course I get confused as to why.
Your foot
My
hurts.
fucking foot's, but it's feeling a lot better today. So I'm gonna try and do, maybe do every other day, and just be a bit kinder to myself as I'm kind of getting back into it. But obviously I've got a marathon in April.
Is that April?
Might be earlier than that. but
Nice.
Oh,
it's
you've got one
April.
before the London.
No, that is the London.
Oh, that was in June.
I think it's in April or May or maybe
Oh.
June.
Oh.
Obviously, I deferred it last year because I didn't do any training. But it is what it is. But no,
Good.
I'm feeling good. I am feeling good. I do get stuck in a trio though. My things are smoking, eating, and drinking. I can. It reminds me of now. Sorry, just really quickly. You know Tom Cruise in that film where he's got a disguise on? He has to put a... Oh, no, not Mission Impossible. There's one of the programs, I got a feeling...
Jerry Maguire.
What? No, it's Minority Report.
Well, that's a good film.
Minority Report. Once
film,
he's when he goes to the he goes and then he has to put a hat on. He's got the beard. He's just got someone else's eyes.
To scan his
and that's who he looks like. I think it's because it's heavily pixelated. So that's probably why. But yeah, sorry. Those are my things, and the problem I have is that I don't seem to be able to knock more than one of them on the head at a given time. I can give up one, but not more than one. So I'm battling with that. But do you know what? I feel really good at the moment. Obviously, come off my meds. The side effects are getting less and less every day. And I've started taking Shilajit as well. I haven't got a fucking clue what it is, but someone on the internet told me it was good. You know,
fucking right, you weren't pricey.
I feel good, but thanks for asking.
Is that
Mr. Price, you like some Shilajit? Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, so I have that in a tea every morning. Apparently, it's like fermented insect and organic matter. But it's it's meant to be really good for you. It's all right actually. It's like a really heavy tar. Like substance, and you just put it in hot water, mix it up, and
it's supposed to be good for you.
It is, and the annoying thing is I'm not scientific, because what I should have done is done one thing at a time. Obviously, I've come off my meds, stopped drinking, and taken Shilajit. I feel fantastic, and I don't know why.
Yeah, but you're not someone that goes, oh, I think I might stop smoking today. You're like, right, I'm fucking doing everything today.
Yeah.
You are either in or you're out.
Oh, someone once said to me, I'm my biggest critic. Like, I am my own biggest critic.
Well,
like,
I think most people, that is.
Well, I was trying to feel special, but if you're going to ruin it,
you're trying to special.
But yeah, that's that.
You do like your balls in or balls out on your absolute 100 miles an hour.
But I'm definitely going to come up to Atlantic Horizons.
Yeah.
Do you do like one-nighters?
Absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. All the time.
Obviously
just one nighter just for beeswax.
Yeah. Well, I'll come up, bring my boy up. And is there the pizzas all year round, or is it just in season?
We generally do all year round. So I mean, yeah, this is out of season. Sometimes we might do it every other week, and we might mix it up with like a pizza sandwich as well. So some weeks we'll do like specials and do some pizza sandwiches, which are pretty good.
Hell.
He loves his cheese.
Oh, mate, I love...
God. He's a dirty cheese animal.
I have cheese on absolute... I can't get enough of it. I fucking love it. If I could reach, I'd eat my own knob cheese. Do you know what I mean? I fucking
what the
love
fuck did you just say that for?
Because I fucking love it.
Oh, Jesus wept, man.
What?
Why are you fucking saying that shit out loud for? Fucking suck my own knob cheese.
Oh, I don't want to suck it. I said I'd eat it.
Oh!
That's heavy.
No, you're not bad. With a little teaspoon. You know?
Chisel that shit off.
Yes. Yeah. So, okay, cool. I will definitely be in touch, because that sounds heavenly to me. And me and Maxwell will get up there, fucking check it out, do a review.
Yeah, do it. And I did
you're near Morwenstow, aren't you?
That's right, yeah. And I said to Dave as well that I'll share some dates with you so you can kind of share on your later podcast. But we're going to be running a retreat up here for men with mental health. So we'll kind of get some dates out to you. We've got those in the pipeline, and it's going to just consist of people can come and stay or come and visit during the day. We'll do some kind of walks, some swims, have some food. Hopefully maybe kind of chill out around a fire.
All over that.
Look at some stars, etc. So, it's a beautiful place up here when it's.
You need to get in touch with Steve Hudson.
Yeah, I said that.
Yeah,
Steve Hudson.
We know Steve.
Wellness Warriors. Yeah, I said that to him.
Yeah.
But he's on, isn't he?
Very soon. Yeah.
When is he? On Wednesday. We're meeting him on Wednesday.
Yeah, you just say it.
But he'll be fine by the time this comes out, won't it?
No, I've not had one of your pizzas either.
Oh, we need to get up
Every
there.
time it comes in, I'm like,
Fucking
I have a
hell.
pizza, and then it's like, no, can't. I'm working or just doing something else.
Too busy.
Fuck's
Yeah.
sake.
Rubbish.
So do you only serve pizzas at the moment on a Friday?
At the moment, on a Saturday, because I've got to take my daughter to football training down in Cornwall on a Friday. So yeah, we moved it to Saturday.
Do that, and then we'll come up when you get those dates out. We'll share it and
Yeah, fucking too right.
Nice one.
Thank you so much, by the way, for coming on and giving us some of your time. Appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you, Peace.
Thanks for having me.
Not at all. And we will, we'll make sure that we pick all the best bits of all of this. And
it'll probably be, to be fair, the only good part is there was when I was telling a story about the T-shirt. The rest of it was shit.
T-shirt. Oh yeah, I thought it was a shirt, not a T-shirt.
Like this.
A polo shirt.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't get the fucking words exactly right.
So typical chef. All right, cool. Cheers, mate.
Thank you, BZ.
Appreciate it.
I'm
boys.
going to come and
Thanks for your
press
time.
stop.
Cheers.
Bye.
Much love.